Well, I think a lot of you must be waiting for the next panel, which is equally very, very exciting, and I think something which a lot of you must be looking forward to, which is on lead multi-channel marketing through changing times. While my team actually, prepares the stage, Nadeem? Nadeem? All right. I would like to give a quick shout out to all of you for being there and being very interested in a lot of sessions. And I also want to give a quick shout out to all our partners. Associate partners, Google and MessageBird, growth partner, Paytm Ads, Lanyard partner, Kalera, Conversation Media partner, Bobble AI, agenda partner, Disney Star. Thank you so much to all the partners who've been there. This is the last session of the day. Post that, we all will head towards the awards, which will start at 6:30 p.m. Since the stage is set, I would like to introduce our panelists for the next session. I'd like to welcome our moderator, Mr. Vishwadeep Bajaj, CEO, founder, ValueFirst. I'm sure a lot of you must be knowing the veteran in the industry. Our panelists are Mr. Priyang Agarwal, Director, Growth, Marketing and Partnerships, Tata 1MG. Mr. Pulkit Mathur, Part Leader, Digital Marketing, LG. Mr. Udit Malhotra, Head of Marketing, Morris Garages, MG, India. Mr. Srikanth Bureddy, Co-founder, Valueleaf. Mr. Vivek Bhargava, Co-founder, ProfitWheel. I welcome all of you. Can we have a big round of applause, please? Let them figure who's who.
So great. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to say I feel very privileged today. I'm in August company. So first of all, I have Vivek, who has been a veteran of this industry. He's been with Dentsu for the longest time. And of course, now he runs his startup, ProfitWheel, which is about consumer intelligence. So glad to have you on the panel. And then I have my dear friend here, Srikanth, whom I have known for nearly 1.5 decades. And then I have 3 marketeers and practicing marketeers, because I will tell you why I feel so privileged to have them on a stage with me here. Because first of all, they're from 3 different industries. So there is consumer durable, there is LG, and then Tata 1MG, which is healthcare, and then we have Morris Garages. So if you see all 3 brands, LG, Tata 1MG, and MG Motors, there is G at the end. So there is a lot of respect for that reason. And more importantly, because where I come from as ValueFirst, we have been in the business of providing last mile connectivity to marketeers to connect with their consumers. So I actually see this industry from a very different lens altogether. And I've often wondered what is the life of a marketeer, because first of all, you have to choose your TG. And then once you have made the choice of your TG, you need to reach them. And to reach them, there is like plethora of options. You have offline, online, and within each, there is like a range of options. And how do you really make a choice of what channel to use? Do you go single channel? Do you go multi-channel? And of late, we have been hearing about phrases like omni-channel. And then of recent times, in fact, if you see, everybody is talking of cross-channel. Because everyone is saying consumer is wherever he is, and we must follow the consumer journey. And that makes it really hard, I guess, for marketeers. And I think today, through this discussion, I would like to figure out for myself as to how do you tackle all these issues. And more importantly, when I think about it and when I have spoken to marketers in the past, one thing which has emerged is that you have to not only create a strategy for a channel, you have to actually create a holistic strategy for consistent, experience for the consumer across all those channels. So how does it all work? So maybe I could start with you, Pulkit.
So Vish, I'd just like to add one thing. यू नोटिस्ड कि सिर्फ CMO जो है उनके आगे जी लगता है, वेंडर एजेंसी के सामने जी नहीं
हमारे
लगता।
सामने तो नहीं है।
एंड ऑल्सो जो बुलाए ना सबको, पहले मॉडरेटर, बाद में ब्रांड, बाद में परफॉर्मेंस एजेंसी एंड एवरीथिंग।
Neha is noticing these things.
मैं तो सोच रहा मेरा नाम कब आएगा, आता है नहीं, एंड में आया, ओके आया।
So, good afternoon, everyone. Great to be part of such an esteemed panel. So, as Mr. Vishwadeep mentioned about the challenges which we face in our daily life, I would like to say that like being a marketer in today's life is really a very difficult task because audiences are and customers are spoiled for choice. They want everything at the on the top of the click. If they want to buy online, offline, they just want the product at the same moment. So it is very difficult to reach the target audience when they are actually looking at the product. So choosing the channel becomes even more difficult for us. Whether we should create awareness or we should be spending more on performance, that's another big challenge. And in a challenging economy, so we feel that spending more on customer acquisition is the biggest challenge. And reducing the customer acquisition cost is another big challenge for us. And choosing the right platform for that, that's if we are able to crack that, that's the name of the game. And D2C is another focus area for us. We are trying to provide customers various options on our website also, so that the entire let's say our range is available on the website, and we are able to provide comfort at the comfort of his house. So things are moving towards D2C, as Aman Gupta also mentioned in the last panel. So I think that's the way to go.
So do you use some kind of marketing automation platform? How do you actually utilize all these channels? Or you use multiple vendors?
So we
vendors?
use multiple vendors. We have a very healthy first party data. So we are able to derive insight that which channels are performing for us from a acquisition point of view. So basis that we take a call that channel 1 or 2 or 3 is performing, and basis that the media allocation is done.
Right. So I've also been fortunate to have heard Priyang in one of the events in Goa. So I would like to invite you next. And I think what I learned that day was immensely useful, and I'm sure the audience can benefit from.
Sure. So I think the challenge, see, when you buy a car, right? When you buy a MG car, right? The first question you ask the dealer, yaar kitna degi? That's our mindset of the consumers, right? Similar manner, as a marketer, the biggest problem is when you're doing any campaign, आपको ही सोचना पड़ता है कितना आएगा. The ROAS, the amount of money that you are spending, and the CAC and the ROAS is your key metrics. And I can say from my own experience, there is a huge pressure on the marketeers' shoulders to optimize the campaign and to bring the customer first in the best possible cost. Second, the good quality customer. That means once a customer has been acquired, we should not spend money once again to acquire, and it should remain forever for our customer, which in marketeer terms we call it as LTV. So I think and this task becomes more tough when there are a lot of competition in the market. A lot of D2C brands are there. A lot of brands are bidding at one point of time. Google, Facebook obviously are at an advantageous situation, but from a marketer perspective, we have to be very vigilant over that. So I think these are the things which is a worry for marketeers, which we have to find a solution for that. And happy to hear other thoughts. I think in the panel down the line, we will share more thoughts over that, how the channels are growing and how we are evolving as a marketeer and as a marketing strategy overall. So happy to hear other thoughts as well.
Sure. So on that note, I would like to invite Srikanth. He's been running performance marketing. He's ad tech in that sense. Also, there is another part of his business is MarTech and FinTech.
And FinTech.
And I think it will be very important to learn from you how you service all these brands who may have different kind of campaign requirements. Do you start with like a A/B testing? How do you actually create the choice of channels? How do you ensure that the campaigns are performing, delivering the ROI? Because I understand in your business there is a lot of CPL. So in that context, it is really important that you spend your own money wisely to make money out of the campaigns you run on behalf of customers?
Okay. I think, performance marketing, now a lot of people here, they know how to generate, what kind of channels you guys need to use. So I'll tell you a little thing, thoda a performance marketing team, when I started, there is no team like performance marketing, right? The brands realized that they started developing these teams now, and they started valuing it. So that is one good part which is happening. I'll tell a little story, okay? I have 3 minutes, I think, right? Yeah, you told me this, 2 minutes. So I was in Vegas. I went to Vegas in the middle of pandemic. Just Delta idhar ho raha tha, so I thought I'll run away and I'll go to US and drive around. So I went to Vegas. I was poker khela, bahut jeet gaya, bahut haar gaya. Then I was in my room. I was reading some articles online. वहाँ पे जो खुद का Wi-Fi चालू करके they were browsing the websites. They told that there are 3 important professions which are going to come up. That's something to related to US market. One is casino managers, like the managers who run a casino. They are like more kind of high valued profession. The second thing, radiologist. The third profession is performance marketing guys. So the way US market treats performance marketing, India is nowhere. The rating I will give not even 1. And this, I'm hoping that will grow eventually. So one thing, in India, I'll tell you why I'm saying this. I went to meet one of the brand. They are into fintech 4 years back. So they are doing a lot of spends. They're spending a lot of money on ATL across the thing. Then we asked for campaigns to give us. We run on performance. So when that happened, the team's talking to them, and we were also very small that time, so I was also coordinating, and a lot of creatives they send. ये creatives आपको use करना है, ये creatives डालना है. So उसके अंदर एक nice creatives for Facebook and social, Google or social media thing. Then there is a celebrity is there, cricketer. मैंने बोला यार ये cricketer celebrity का क्यों दिया? ये तो नहीं चलेगा social media. कैसा कैसे चलेगा? He is a big celebrity, and we are doing very good across ATL, television and print. And this is working very well. I said, it will not run. Please understand, the celebrity will not run social media, unnecessarily will waste a lot of money. They said, no, please do it. मैं बोला चलो करके देखते. Facebook, Google में हमारा टीम ने लगा दिया. हमारा CPA normally आता था 200 रुपए, and it was started coming at 600, 700. Then I told, I given back to them. Sir, ये आपने बोला कर दिया. The problem is understanding is very weak. I'm sorry, but this is what it is. Because I talk frankly in the panel discussion. This is where I can talk to the brands. Office में जो तो नहीं बात कर सकते, भाई नहीं दूंगा budget. So this is what my USP also. Whenever the panel discussion is there, I am there, I talk. So I went and I told them, भाई ये तो नहीं चल रहा है. थोड़ा आप मेरा, so whatever I told, it worked. It's not working. The thing is, the channels, we are sitting here to discuss about multi-channel, right? The multi-channel, you need to have every channel work differently. Every channel work dynamical. So I asked someone why this service-oriented product, why you are using Amitabh Bachchan? Because Amitabh Bachchan means my father. Like my father kind of looks him a role model. So if I have to look at, I will look at Salman Khan and Shah Rukh Khan. If my younger generation look at the today's generation. You are focusing me, but you are putting Amitabh Bachchan and you want to market the product online. My people will never, we will just scroll. Unnecessarily, you will waste a lot of money. So there is a understanding of performance marketing is still very less in India. I think I request all the brand marketers, companies to kind of fight for your, space within the organization and make sure that you get enough intelligence. How many of you know there is a channel called KOL? Okay. So KOL it's a key opinion leader. It's a channel. China में एक key opinion. For example, Virat Kohli is not an influencer. He's a key opinion leader. The Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo, right? He is a key opinion. Coca-Cola bottle नीचे लगा दिया, पूरा brand का 2 billion नीचे गिर गया. This is a key opinion leader. One of the key opinion leader in China, he spoke about a lipstick and he able to sell 10 million lipsticks in 1 hour. 10 million lipsticks. Yeah, it's a kind of. So there is so much. So America has tried to teach marketing to us for so many years, and we try to give up. They given up, and we give up. Now China is also trying to teach us marketing. There's so many avenues are there. The only thing where is the gap is understanding, and enough intelligence is required for that particular department. So this is what I could say, sir.
Thank you so much. So
Please
Udit,
don't reduce my budgets. Huh?
no. I think they should go up. Okay, I think as ValueFirst, we have been working on multiple channels. We keep trying to develop technologies, and in the last couple of years, we have seen that WhatsApp for business messaging really became a very important channel, coupled with specifically a chatbot. So we saw a lot of marketeers adopt it because it creates conversations, it creates interactions and so on. It is very different from other one-way channels. And one of our customers, Nissan, so because you are next, so I'm setting some context. So one of our customers, Nissan, decided to use WhatsApp plus chatbot combination to sell cars. And I was wondering, can you really sell a car through such a medium? And they actually succeeded. And there was, we actually won some awards also together with the brand. And in that context, I think I would like to know your views on what channels you are looking at currently, and how do you see the whole omni-channel, cross-channel business play out?
So firstly, I think everybody is given a point of view, in terms of the problems, but, or how I would like to encapsulate it in one line is, what is my intervention when? So it's not linear. Even as marketeers, when we are sitting in this room, there may be a always on lead campaign or a performance campaign. As we sit right now, it's running. So there is something always on, and there is something to solve for a specific problem. Maybe a run-out campaign, maybe a year-end campaign, something like that. Coming back to channels, I think I have said this in one of my earlier sessions as well, that we believe in talking audience first. So, Pulkit talked about first-party data. So what are we doing with our first-party data? When did we start acquiring first-party data as a brand? What is MarTech, or how is technology enabling all of this, in a through-the-line world? What happens is most marketeers or digital marketeers would talk about reach, impression, vanity metrics, and MarTech, which ends at, the digital world. Now this new buzzword called CDP has started buzzing everybody, whether people are not able to leverage it, but they want to do it. So the intent is there. So the point is, the mix is how cohesively you can integrate the journeys of the user in a seamless offline and online manner. Now to answer your question on, let's say, WhatsApp as a medium to sell cars, it's definitely possible. In fact, let's go 3 years back, I've sold cars on on an SMS blast. We've, on a single SMS blast of 30,000 customers, we had 50 car bookings. So now when you say, what does it matter? The audience. When did I start building my email list? Did I trade in that audience or not? So WhatsApp for us is a preference channel because it gives me around 88% red notification rate. It performs far more better than email, even if I have a 16 to 20% open rate on my, on email as a channel. But WhatsApp is only answering a part to the solution. Because once you have an engagement flow which is built in, and let's say you've arrived at a decision-making point on WhatsApp, what is the next thing that you're serving? So let's say if I've chosen to buy a red Hector, now if I say, okay, do you want to configure the car? So the moment I've gone to the configuration journey, the consideration level is really high. So I will, toss him out at the car configurator on the web. Now the good part is, if he comes to the showroom, for example, he'll be able to use the same configuration on the store. That is truly omni-channel. So what I made online, if I've been able to access it at the dealership, and if I can complete my purchase journey there, is how truly an omni-channel channel is performing. And why I'm talking about physical till today is very important is because this is a Facebook friction survey just a year back. 46% of people still want the physical touch and feel with their family, no matter where they have booked the car, whichever is the medium. It's just booked, it's not retailed. So he still has the option to change his decision if he doesn't like the in-store experience or things like that. So WhatsApp definitely, one of the bigger takeaways is the open rates, the through rates, and the immense possibilities of you clubbing a chatbot to answer a lot of questions. But coming back to the channel mix, I think it depends on what is always on and what is there to address a specific problem. So that's how I'd like to conclude. Yeah.
Thank you for the insights. Now, Vivek, you have worked with hundreds of brands, so I think I will let you share your experiences.
I think before I start, I just want to send context, right? So I've been in digital marketing 25 years. Now I run the consumer intelligence startup. But I think in the last 25 years, there's always been this one change which has almost sort of reset the world. So at one point in time, it was like search came in, completely transformed performance marketing in a way, right? And it made Google what it was. Then to a certain extent, social media came in. But I think today, generative AI is actually resetting the world. So what it's doing is that it's allowing us to now use all the channels more effectively by having some kind of AI integration in all the channels. So let me give you an example, right? So if you just take today audience analysis. Earlier, audience analysis was very difficult, and whichever enrichment was happening through cookies, or it was happening on a one-to-one person basis. Cookies going away, and now one-to-one activation has been stopped on all ad tech platforms. Analysis has to be done on first-party data and has to be done on a cohort basis. But now the thing is, if you have 10 million customers, that's about, let's say, 100,000 people, 100, 200,000 cohorts. How do you generate creative on each of these platforms so it works, right? If you want a high LTV customer, then the fact of the matter is that if you understand the audience, then you can actually reach them through any audience, through any channel, right? So whether it's SMS, WhatsApp, or ad tech, or MarTech, it doesn't matter. Second thing what happens is that when you look at it, right, I think when something gets reset, then I think it's very, very critical for you as a brand to also reset your budgets. The challenge that I've seen is that when something new comes up, we say, oh, you know what, let's put 10 lakh rupees towards that channel. And then it works out really well. We say, okay, now we'll increase the budget and double it. But double it means in a 100 crore budget, तुम 10 lakh का 20 lakh करोगे, फायदा क्या होने वाला है? Right? So the way I look at it is, right, when something gets reset, if generative AI is going to change performance across all your channels and can give you 20% better performance across all your channels, then figuring out a way how you integrate it across all your channels is very critical, because a 20% increase is going to save you or make you 20 crore rupees more. Right? Then spending few lakhs of rupees out there would not be the true test of it. So I think one thing we have to believe is that today there has been a huge shift in which every single channel is going to get impacted. And that impact is going to be on content creation, is going to become on creative that you use, the way you do your audience planning, the way you use your channels, how you use chatbots. So I think if we don't integrate this across the all the channels that we use, we're going to miss out on the biggest opportunity that we've got. But for that, I think starting off with that, our goal should be in the next 3 years, every single channel that we use, we have some kind of generative AI working on it. The other big thing I think the change is happening is the whole, at least the ad tech part of it, is the whole influencer bit. Because I was giving an example earlier, right, that today if Times of India has 3 million circulation and 15 million readership, the fact of the matter is that they get 3,000 crores for that. Today if you take the top 500 or 1,000 influencers, you reach 500 million people. And some of them have 225 million followers like a Virat Kohli, which is like, just imagine, 3 million was with that. So 100, 200x bigger, right? The thing is that they don't even make 1,000 crores or 500 crores on that. So how taxi and Uber services happened in California, where Uber services started late, but it didn't become 25%, 50% of the taxi market. It became 200x or 20x of the taxi market, but without reducing the taxi market. Same way, advertising may not reduce, but the influencer and the creator economy will suddenly become very, very big and exciting, because it's almost like a cost of sale, right? Advertising is an expense, influencer marketing can become a cost of sale. So I think one takeaway is, right, so the way I define conventional media and digital media, when conventional media was dominant, we generally named digital media. Like, it's like urban marketers like us, we name rural marketing, right? Because we are marketing, they are rural marketing, right? But now if you take, now the digital has become dominant, so we basically say TV, conventional media. We don't say marketing and digital marketing. We say conventional marketing and marketing. And the thing is, I was just discussing, the last sentence I have is that I think time has come for digital to get a fair share of the market, and I believe fair share is 100%.
All the digital people here in the room would be very happy with that. And also, on your comment about generative AI, even as a tech company as ValueFirst, we have been we have started looking at how do we integrate APIs with our chatbot product and actually make it real for the marketeers as a product to use. So that is something work in progress as a tech provider. So hopefully we'll bring it to you. And like
We've already integrated it. Anybody who wants to test it, we can test it today.
Okay, so moving on, I think one of the key things about multi-channel really is that all channels are different. The nuances are different. For example, SMS has a 160 character payload. Then voice is very different kind of channel, maybe good for vernacular content where you want to reach out to the consumer in a specific language. WhatsApp has interactivity, email has rich media, and so on and so forth. So the nature of the channel would definitely have a significant bearing on how you choose a channel. And then you have to create content across all these channels, and particularly, like I said at the beginning, if you want to have a consistent messaging experience for the consumer, then how do you create content which is across different channels, but still consistent? So I think if I could start with you, Pulkit.
So, the tonality is the key according to me when it comes to content. So the customer already knows that, for example, if LG is saying something, that they stand for improving the quality of life. The messaging, the tonality, what your communication, the creative has to be consistent in every way, whether it's your SMS, email, or your display. So what we think is that irrespective of the platform, the communication basics has to be in place. And when we track the effectiveness and then the remarketing part, all the communication has to be in place for better acquisition costs. Sure. So that's what we feel. And I think it has paid. And coming back to the original question of yours, we did a pilot on the first party data, including the chatbot. So for our OLED TVs, which cost above 2.5 lakhs. Wow. So we were able to sell almost 50 OLEDs on a very spend of 50 or 70 lakhs.
That's amazing.
So so definitely first party data layered with AI and chatbot, it's definitely an effective media, and that's what I want to share with the team right now.
Sure. So I think content, as I think Udit and Vivek said, content I think cuts across all the channels that the marketeer is using, whether it's performance marketing, brand marketing, CRM marketing and all. And a thoughtful content can be a game changer for any of the brand. Many a times I came across this particular question, how to build a brand in so much cluttered competition. I think that's where the content can play a differentiation role also. Many people say that social media, organic social media is dead, but I believe that I will take an example of Zomato, and very recently you might have seen Grofers and Zomato putting a billboard and it's going viral, right? So I think if you think the content from user perspective, and if you can make a content which is relatable, content can give you a right differentiation factor in spite of you being into a cluttered market, or in spite of you being a lot of competitions. Second thing is that the communication that we are doing with the customer should be really consistent, and the brand should be really cautious about what they are saying, because when they are saying it, they have to stand by it. If we are saying that it is like flat something % off, the perception that becomes is that it's like flat, I will get off. But there are a lot of TNCs, and then the customer feels that the communication is not up to the mark. So it's better to get a right communication strategy rather than just bringing the customer, increasing the clicks, increasing the traffic, and then increasing the bounce off. Communication is a very important thing. And the last, creative. How you package the content and the communication into a whole package, which we call it as a creative, which can be a static, which can be a video, which can be anything. But it can be GIF also, anything. So the whole creative experience of the customer should be really good. It should be easily readable, pleasing to eyes, and whatever you want to communicate, it should be really being communicated in the same manner in which the brand wants to communicate. It should not be like this, that I want to communicate something else, the perception of the customer was something else. So these 3 C's, which we call it as content, communication and creative, together can become a good differentiation factor for any of the brands. And even in Tata 1mg, we are using content to the maximum level. We have our own YouTube channel where we are uploading the very authentic content. Very regularly, we are posting moment marketing concepts on social media. So a lot of things we are doing on content, and we have seen that content can play a very important role for any of the brand in any of the domain.
Thank you so much. I think very insightful, Srikanth, because you work with so many of
brands.
the brands, and my question is, do you actually create their content, or the brand managers give you the content, or is it a
what मेरे को time देख के tension आ रहा है.
हाँ, ये मुझे लग रहा है time थोड़ा off sync है.
Off sync है, थोड़ा और time बढ़ाना है. So see, first of all, this content triple C, उससे पीछे और एक C है, common sense. If you don't have common sense, please don't do any of these 3 C's. Very simple. I'll tell you why I'm telling this. I was working for a diabetic, one of the company. So they want to promote this diabetic day. They want to do some promotion activities. So he wants something like, I think some Tata ka, some other company का ad देखा था, उस तरीके का ad चाहिए diabetic का भी. So छोटा font से, बहुत सारे font से detail में है. And same thing you want to carry, so miniature kind of thing on the social media. मैंने बोला यार आप तो diabetic का product कर रहा है, उसको promote करना है. The biggest first attack of a diabetic is eyes. तुमको इतना छोटा font करना है, common sense तो लगाओ, उसको तो बड़ा अक्षर रखना. You need to minimize your content and put it in 2-3 words. So this is the problem. I see if you don't have common sense, don't enter into this subject. It's a very, very common sense वाला subject है. उसको utilize करना है, पैसा खर्चा करो. Don't treat this is like a step profession. You need to treat this one of the main profession which leads a greater, better performance for you guys. That's simple. So जब आता है ना, उसको ये मत पूछना content लिख के बताओ. उसको ऐसा tricky questions बताना. So where understand how much common sense they use in that.
Sure. For Udit, I have a different question. I think because we are running out of time as well, I would like to really ask a very fundamental thing about all this multi-channel business, that in the end, we really need to measure. Yeah, we need to give attribution to which channel is performing, what is actually delivering the ROI. So how do you go about that?
See, if I had to take a pun on myself, every day we'd ask, kya bechte ho? Expense function. But I think if you're going by truly a through-the-line approach where you are, in technical terms, building some identifiers who are tracking the full purchase funnel, including deduplication, including which source is actually leading to that booking, is where you can measure. I can't tell you the full data, but from the day MG launched, a fair share, I won't say 50%, but a fair share of bookings that we get for our products are totally digitally driven. Now, it is the fact that if you go by conventional old school thinking, dealer ne maal bechna hai. If the dealer is not willing to sell your product, how will you sell it? So what were the levers or enablers that I have made to make that fair share of digital experience into the customer's journey is what I need to focus on. After that, running a performance campaign, running a creative campaign, attributing it to different channels is the outcome that I need to measure. But the basic is, having that ethos and infrastructure built in, and also the value system of the company needs to believe in what you're saying. I as a marketer would say, let's digital karte hain, okay? But at the end of the day, what will happen is, let release 2 print ads. If it's not ingrained into the system of the company, then it becomes lip service. But I've been fortunate that I've got mentors and support within MG. We're able to build that ecosystem. So that's one of the reasons attribution is easy. It's not difficult.
Great.
Yeah.
So Vivek, you would like to add something?
Yeah, I think I can add a little bit on the content bit of it, right? I think the key for any kind of digital strategy, content is a key. 3 pillars. If you just take digital pillars, right? That is paid, organic, and social. paid media reduces cost because of the content. You get more engagement on social media because of content. And basically all of organic traffic comes because of content. But one thing I would like to add is, right, I think content creation now has to become more scientific. So what one should do is take the most profitable customers you have, see the psychographic of those people, what affinities they have, see the psychographics of people who are not so good customers. Content creation should be driven by your most profitable customers. I believe that 20% of the customers give you most of your profits in most industries. And many industries that we are sitting out here, 10% of the customers give us 90% of the profits. So if you want to do content creation, the multiplier effect will only come in if you understand your audiences, right? And here's a small plug, right? That's what we do as a company. Because we believe that ProfitWheel should focus on increasing profits. So if you don't do the customer or audience analysis effectively, then you end up creating content, but there are 1.4 billion people in India. Hardly 50 million people will ever buy a car, ever, right? You take LG Electronics, not more than 30, 40 million people are going to buy a 2.5 lakh rupee TV, ever, right? In the next 10 years. So the people who are going to consume our content or engage with us is so little that if you want a higher lifetime value, if you've not understood and analyzed the audiences, understood the psychographics, then we'll end up creating content which will be huge, you get 1 billion views, but then at the end of the board meeting, somebody asks, so what? And there is no answer to that, so what? So I think that is the most critical thing. Understand who's your most profitable customers, create content, create creative, target him on media. If you can take care of that, I think that can transform your company.
Sure. So thank you very much, panelists. I would like to find out if, because we are the last session, can we get like 5 minutes more to have audience ask some questions to the panelists? So on that note, the floor is open. Please ask your question and also please name the panelist for whom the question is intended.
And make sure your question is shorter than the answer you expect. I think we are between beer and us, is it? Like
Yeah, on that note, just one more chance for any questions. I think we were pretty good. So thank you so much, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, panelists.
We like to get a small picture done for all of you. If you can just probably come in front, so that's a nice picture. Thank you so much, the panelists. Thank you so much to all the audience. You can meet the panelists outside the Regal Hall for any conversation if you'd like for. We would be concluding the day 17th India Digital Summit with this. You can please head over to the main ballroom. We will be starting with India Digital Awards at 6 to 6:30 p.m. sharp. We try to do sharp, but then you know how it is. Thank you so much, everyone. We shall see you next year at 18th India Digital Summit.